Yes, the iPhone 15 Pro has finally arrived at the studio. I'm going to show you amazing ways to make the most of these new iPhones, from a couple of brilliant accessories and approaches to filming on this that make it a mobile cinema camera essentially. And I've got to say, this is my favourite upgrade in a long time. Well, it took me 5 years to do it, but hey. Oh, and most excitingly, titanium is here. I mean, look at this thing. Let's talk about photography. Whilst the cameras haven't completely changed, what has been added is a little film on here that's reducing glare. And these 48 megapixel shots that we can take are really, really powerful, not just because they are kind of adapted in a different way and processed so the quality is higher, but actually it's also a software update, which means that we can now shoot and then turn these into portrait shots later on. Well, some people are describing this as being able to change where the focus is on a shot. It doesn't really do that because everything's in focus when you take the shot, but the software allows you to blur out a background or a foreground and adapt where the focus is when you turn it into a portrait mode shot. Really cool. I suppose we should talk about the USB-C port. Yeah, it was European regulations that made it happen, but many of us are very glad it did. Finally, we can take it down to one cable for all our devices. But what makes that particularly cool about the iPhone is that we can now actually manage files and move files around on this far more easily via the USB-C connection, rather than having to airdrop everything across. So these new iPhones are actually transforming our productive workflow as well. Now next, the true power of these new phones is the ability to film on these at a level that's never been possible on a smartphone. Now, have you spotted the new nightstand mode for iPhone? I'm actually loving it. While I was filming this little video, Balolo, one of my favourite desk setup and accessory makers coming out of Germany, sent me a couple of great iPhone accessories, 2 versions of their Magsafe charger holders. Hashtag not sponsored, I just rather liked them. Now, if you've watched my other videos, you'll likely have seen my recent studio desk setup, and the Balolo desk shelf cockpit system, which this is a part of, can attach various trays, laptop holders and so on to the shelf in a modular way, put a little Magsafe charging unit into it. And now I think this is particularly great for that new nightstand mode in iOS 17. So you just need your phone to be on standby, connected to power, and in landscape mode. That mode is definitely best seen with this other option, and it makes me want to keep my phone by my bed now. That's probably a bit of a problem for downtime, isn't it? Anyway, check out Balolo in the description links. Great people, cool products. So the first feature that's got to be celebrated is the ability to shoot in Apple ProRes log. Log footage is essentially a flat color profile that I always film in, and you grade into the color you want. The reason it's so great is you're able to get much more dynamic range, more detail in the highlights and the shadows, and it's much more flexible in post to make the most of it. The other great thing about it is by shooting in log, we can get rid of that kind of digital sharpening that you'll often find on a smartphone. That has changed the game for me because it means that this camera is now a genuine third or second camera for me to use in my pocket, blend with footage from my Fuji cameras, and it's almost unnoticeable, the difference. It really is remarkable. Currently, you can only shoot ProRes log up to 30 frames per second on the device. To go to 60 frames per second, you have to film it onto an external hard drive. There's a couple of accessories that really make that work, and check this out. This is the Crucial X9 Pro, and it is at the smallest, most affordable 2 terabyte drive, super fast, super reliable. I can attach it to the phone, and I've got a very portable mobile filming setup. So I just realised I should probably explain to you what these things are if you want to do it yourself. It's really simple. It's the SSD drive. This Crucial one is fantastic. I've then added a little sticky pad phone mount. So normally you would stick this to, say, a wall or a fridge or whatever you want it to, and then the magnetic side would be available to attach the phone and like mount the phone. But this just reverse engineers it. So I've stuck the pad to the hard drive, and then a very short, very flat USB-C cable. Make sure you get one that does high data transfer, like 10 gigabytes per second. You attach this to the phone, and then this can just plug in. So until someone invents a case to hold one of these, this is a really brilliant option. I'll link all the bits in the description. Even better, I've paired it with this, the Insta360 Flow gimbal. This is an AI gimbal that will track you, objects, it will do loads of stuff. It's really, really cool. You can check out my studio build video if you want to see more about that, where I talk more about it. I wasn't that excited about it because I had such an old phone, but now I've got this phone, it turns it into an incredible one-person portable filming setup for some seriously pro and quite cinematic looking shots. What do you think of that? Let me know in the comments below. But perhaps the coolest hack is that we can actually shoot in log by using this. There is a new camera control app from Blackmagic. Now Blackmagic are known for providing great digital resources. They make their money, I think, essentially from selling the hardware. But what's really cool, there is now a free app that allows you to not only shoot in log on device, but also you don't have to shoot in ProRes to shoot in log. So the two key advantages of using the Blackmagic app are, first, that it offers pro video features, like being able to set the frame rate, so we can set that and lock that off. You can lock off your shutter speed, you can lock off your ISO and your white balance. So that's all gonna make a massive difference. But second, and probably my favorite addition to this system, is in record, the option to first record the color space in Apple Log, but to actually output with a codec that isn't that massive Apple ProRes 422 file. So that's all you can do on the native camera app. But in this, we have the option to output something like ProRes 422 LT, which is much more condensed. Or if you even want to go into like H.265 or H.264, you have that option. So for YouTubers, content creators, social media usage, this is massive because it allows you to get the great advantages of flat color gradable log footage without the huge ProRes file sizes. So on device, using the Blackmagic app, I can lock in my shutter speeds, my exposure rate, film in log in H.265, and it's perfect as a new camera to work for YouTube. Check it out. So let me know what you make of these new iPhones and how you're finding them. Have you had any overheating issues? Has your Max cracked when you pushed on it? Mine has been great. Next, if you'd like to make your iPhone or iPad look like this, make sure to also check out my new icon and cover packs that are available via the link in the description. And there's a full tour of customizing on iOS right up here, or you might want to check out some of the amazing Mac accessories that I love down here. It would be amazing if you subscribed. If you haven't, wicked if you left a like. And I'd better get back to creating with this. Bye.